This is the Concourse Club, the best warm-up for your weekend of football. My name's Fraser. Joining me today are non-league football writer Jimmy.
Hello.
And the man who, on an unreleased pilot of this very podcast, not only claimed that Bukayo Saka would be flop of the season, but also that Darwin Nunez, that's right, Darwin Nunez would win. That is win player of the season. Hi, Fez.
Hello.
So, yeah, no rebuttal to that at all?
There's nothing really to say.
He's standing by it, I think.
Well, I wouldn't say standing by it, but yeah, I'm definitely questioning a few of my options in life recently, so that's up there.
Well, if he wins player of the season, my breath's going to be fresh for about a year and a half.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You did promise to down a bottle of mouthwash, didn't you, if that happened?
I wasn't down, it was just drink a pint of mouthwash, but I had yes.
Fine then.
Yeah.
So
all okay?
Yeah, we'll be fine.
Pat show for you today. We have Akka Chatter, our accumulator game, where we each pick 5 Team Akka for the weekend ahead. Fancy Fives, a new idea of us in which we pick 5 Premier League players best suited to a hypothetical situation. That should be good. And finally, as per custom on all podcasts at this time of year, we do our Premier League predictions for the season ahead. Hopefully, Fez has got dead switched on this time. So yeah, good boys.
Yeah, it's been a delight, mate. Absolute delight. Yourself?
Well, I'll tell you what's sort of blown the weekend a bit, or the week a bit, I should say. I was going to go in for this podcast with an angle of we're going to suck up to the Papa John's Trophy, try and get a few peeps out of it because no one else is doing it. They're only going to drop the sponsorship.
That's a fucking outrage. Who's sponsoring it now?
No, that's the issue. So we can't even nick like free insurance or whatever. I was honest, it ruined 90% of what I was planning during the week.
Bastards! At least Rangers have signed Danilo and Cifuentes, so we are cooking. We are cooking next season. We're going to win the league.
We discussed this at length. Danilo, yeah, all well and good. Can he do it on a cold Tuesday night in Dingwall though?
What? Yes. Anyone can do it on a cold, rainy night in Dingwall.
I don't know. Fortress up there, innit?
I don't know, mate. I'm more of a Cali man myself.
Oh, I've got that bitter Highland rivalry.
No, exactly, mate. Nothing quite like it.
Nothing like a Highland derby. Some would say biggest in Scotland.
Did they? Who was that?
Someone said it.
I don't even know if it touches top 5.
Do you reckon?
I don't think it does. If you got the Edinburgh Derby, the old firm, the Dundee, the new firm, and then I'd even put like, I don't know, fucking Morton. I don't know. There's got to be a bigger one somewhere.
Isn't there a St Mirren Dunfermline one, or St Mirren Morton, or something like that?
Falkirk Dunfermline's one.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah. I think even Aberdeen Rangers is more fiery than the Highland Derby.
I would argue Rangers anyone is more fiery.
Yeah, we don't get on with many teams.
No, you don't, do you?
They hate us because they ain't us.
Anyway, we're going to start this week with our accumulator challenges, in which we've each been tasked with picking a 5-Team Akka for the weekend's games. We'll keep track of this over the season and see who has done the best. Have you all done your Akkas?
Yes. Only moments ago, but they're done.
Yeah, brilliant. Fez, let's start with you. Your 5 teams and the odds at the end.
My 5-Team Akka starts on the Friday night, back in the Championship, back with our home team, Southampton Football Club, getting a win against Sheffield Wednesday. I've got 2 on Saturday and 2 on Sunday. The 2 on Saturday come from the Scottish League, with Celtic beating Ross County and Rangers beating Kilmarnock. On Sunday, I've gone for the Community Shield, and Man City are going to romp Arsenal, I reckon. Followed by another Championship game where Leicester beat Coventry. Those odds are at 9.37 over 1. And I put a quid on for a return of 10.38.
Why do you sound like the geezer on the radio that reads out the
I
full-time
like
results?
that. I like that.
Jeez. Right, do you want to hear my Akka?
Come on, Jim, save us here.
Right. First off, right, I never put teams that I support in my Akka. I think that is a dangerous game. And I think the best thing to do is put rival teams in your Akka, because then if the money doesn't come in, you've still got the joy of knowing that they've lost. So I've got Celtic to beat Ross County. It's what we call in the business a win-win. And then the other ones are all EFL based. So I've got Stoke to beat Rotherham. Stoke, better than Rotherham. Watford should absolutely batter QPR. QPR in a shit state. Blackpool to beat Burton, because who even are Burton? And then Bolton to beat Lincoln. That's the iffy one. I'm not sure Bolton are going to beat Lincoln, but you got to stick it in there and see.
Yeah, no, I like all of that. You're about always picking rivalries in your accumulator. Is that wise? I always go off the thought process.
Well, I never
pick teams you support or teams you hate, because it'll always do you over.
See, I think Celtic's always. I probably wouldn't put Pompey in an ACCA, but I think Celtic, unless they're playing like one of the Edinburgh teams or Aberdeen, I think I tend to stick them in an ACCA because I just see it as free money.
What were the odds on Celtic Ross County?
I didn't see the individual odds, to be honest, but my ACCA came in at 8.97 to 1.
So interesting. This week we're all going a bit more out, haven't we? Because again,
but I don't think mine is. I think this is. I've got much more faith in this than I did my ACCA last week.
That's
much more faith.
Your one on that pilot we done was it 3 something? 3.7 to 1?
Yeah, mine was slightly higher than you boys. I think mine was 4 point, but it was only just in the 4s.
Right, so we said about going higher than last week. I've gone higher than last week. So start off, Hearts to beat St Johnstone. St Johnstone having woeful in the Viaplay Cup. I think Hearts could be 4, could be 5, could be 6. I've got Motherwell to beat newly promoted Dundee. I think Motherwell got a stronger squad this year. They might be pushing into that top 6 in Scotland. Same as you, Jim. Watford to beat QPR. QPR are in the mud at the moment. They're awful. Stockport to beat Gillingham. Gillingham, there's a case to go down. They should have gone down last year, so seems like a no-brainer. And I've got Norwich to beat Hull.
Sorry, haven't Gillingham have had a takeover in like January and have been signing everyone and their mums in that league?
Are they? Gillingham?
Gillingham, yeah.
Stockport
they got that American geezer as owner.
Stockport are overwhelming favourites to win this. Stockport still finished top half of the league last year, didn't they?
Yeah, no, but I'm pretty sure Gillingham are like among the favourites to win the league.
They're not, are they? They're not among
Unless
the
I'm
favourites.
getting them confused for someone else, I'm pretty sure they are.
Gillingham, not Crawley, Gillingham.
Yeah. No, Crawley. I've seen Crawley predicted to get relegated. Apparently, they've been selling everyone.
Well, they're owned by a consortium that includes Gary V.
Gillingham got bought over by a US bloke in just before Christmas last year, and apparently they're doing bits. Yeah.
Oh well. Go on, Fez.
No, I was just saying, are you sure on this? Because I'm going to do some research now. Live research.
Live.
I want to hear the keyboard typing.
Research this. Go on, Fez. Anyway, I'll round off saying Norwich beat Hull, and then the overall odds for that are 31.89 to 1.
38?
31.89, sorry.
Oh, 31.89. Oh, that's fine. That's because of your Stockport shout, man. That's up in the air.
No, it's not, because I've got 2 away wins. I've got Hearts to beat St Johnstone was massive odds for some reason. Well, not massive, like a fair amount off, and likewise Motherwell to beat Dundee was pretty far off as well.
I haven't seen any of the. I've cancelled my Viaplay subscription recently.
Well, it went down a pound, didn't it?
Yeah, but apparently it's not.
What do you mean?
Apparently it was, and then they said they were pulling out, but they're not pulling out of British sport. Apparently, it's their other offerings that you won't be able to get in the UK.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, that's why I cancelled it. I probably need to undo my cancellation to that subscription, to be honest. It comes in quite handy from time to time.
Fraser, I won't lie. Jim is right. Gillingham have been signing players left, right and centre.
Who they got in? Names?
Oh, hang on. Here we go.
There we go.
Ashley Nadesan.
Yeah, he's a brilliant player. He is. He's going to absolutely tear the league apart.
Shadrach Orji. Johnny Williams.
Johnny Williams?
Good player, actually. He was at Swindon a couple of years ago.
Lewis Page. Scott Malone.
He sounds like a League Two footballer if ever I've heard of one. Scott Malone.
Wasn't it Wigan?
Probably.
Yeah, it was, yeah. There's a few more names on there. But yeah, big signing.
They signed Johnny Williams from Swindon.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. Oh, Conor Masters. I feel like I've heard of him. QPR Irish player. I feel like I've heard of him.
I know.
Scott Malone, they've been signing players from the top end of League One and the Championship.
And yet they're still going to lose to Stockport.
Mate, I'm glad I got one ball knowledge over on you there. I'm proud of that.
Yeah. What do you owe me? As if I'm just steering the ship. I'm not meant to be doing all this sort of analytics.
I suppose I am the professional football writer, so I am in the loop.
You are a non-league journalist, Jimmy. As said at the top of the show, you are a non-league journalist. You're here for the brains, mate.
Mate, this is my bread and butter.
Get you on League Two football. Get you on Papa John's Trophy football, or
No,
not anymore.
they're too far above me, I'm afraid. Get me on the FA Cup bars, FA. I'll be honest, even the Vanarama National League is pushing it a bit.
Proper localised non-league. Get you down. Somerset too far north.
Yeah, Dorset and Hampshire. Yeah, I can tell you what's going on there, but beyond that, I might be struggling. Also, while we're on the topic, Verwood Town shithole.
I told you about that. I told you it's a rubbish ground.
It was pissing down with rain. They only had about 2 seats. Do you know what though, Fraser? No, do you know what though? I still think it was slightly more developed than Larkhall's ground.
Oh, but that's Larkhall. Just for everyone listening, is regularly voted as one of the most beautiful grounds in English football.
Yeah, it's absolutely shithole, mate.
And we went there twice for evening games in the pissing rain, and still was quite nice. Jimmy hates it.
I didn't like it. Not a fan. It's all on. You have to walk up a hill. The water runs down onto the pitch. Like, who decided to put a football pitch there? There's no drainage. Balls get lost in the trees. Like, it just stinks of Rangers v fucking Brecon when they first got relegated. Just balls and hedges all over the place.
Oh, very overzealous security I found. Not security, but like stewards.
Oh yeah, would absolutely body you. So that the players who are playing step 4 non-league, so regular plumbers and fucking dishwashers, he bodies you so that they can get through to the dressing room before you can go get your beer. Fucking outrageous.
Brilliant. Right, so that was Aka Chatter. Next, we're going to move on to Fancy Fives. This is the segment in which we are given a hypothetical situation involving Premier League footballers, and we have to navigate our way through said scenario using Premier League players of our choice, and we'll discuss this as we go along. Points are awarded for the best hypothetical situation or the best response to it.
What? We're doing a point system?
It's one of those ones where I come up with it, which just at the end, so all come together and go, who's the best, and they get a point.
Who's this? I haven't got a hypothetical situation.
Exactly, mate, and it's on the spot thinking, mate.
It's not on the spot thinking because you have both been thinking about it for a week.
I'm not told if it.
So we're not getting points for our hypothetical situation. We're getting points for the response to the hypothetical situation.
Should I do that again?
No, I think we should leave this in because if I'm confused, the listener's going to be fucking baffled.
Right. So yes, as I say, we each get. I give Fez and Jimmy a hypothetical situation. They have to respond to it using Premier League footballers.
Past or present?
It's all in the question, Fez. It's all in the question coming up for you. And between the two of you, you get a point. You get actually if you match my sort of response to this, you get 2 points. But the winner will get a point. I butchered this. Trust me, it'll make sense.
If we mention this is like pick a number between 1 and 10, and we've got to guess who it's the same number.
Mate, honestly,
what the fuck is this?
Look, I've explained it poorly. It's called legs. We all agree on legs, and shall I just say the situation, and then you just come up with 5 Premier League footballers that will match.
Do they? I had one other query. Do they have to be able to play a game of 5? Like, do I have to have a keeper, like at least one defender? No.
It's 5 people. It's just 5
players, people. Okay.
5 strikers, 5 mids, 5 defenders.
Okay. Sorted.
I've butchered that, haven't I? But anyway, we'll go through it. I'll say a scenario, and then it's down to you two using creative thinking. On the spot, creative thinking.
I'm really bad at on the spot thinking, chaps.
Answer to this scenario.
Right.
Okay. In the week that a Radio 1 DJ was fired after a spat over differing opinions on a record, Radio 1 have decided to experiment by producing a show entirely run by current Premier League footballers. including both hosts, news and weather, and everything else to do with radio. Due to a wrong number, they have contacted you to decide who fills these roles and for you to produce a show. So who are these 5 Premier League footballers, current Premier League footballers, you're picking to run a radio show?
We'll do it as a draft, Fez. You go, we'll do one, and then I'll go, and we'll do it like that.
The same people though. That's all right. You don't have to be like exclusivity.
Right. My number one pick is the blatantly obvious pick, Peter Crouch.
5 current Premier League footballers to run a radio show.
Oh, you bastard! Right.
Oh, bloody hell.
Does Asmir Begovic still play in the Premier League?
I believe he counts. Why would you want Asmir Begovic to running a radio show? How good is English for a start?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm panicking. He was the first player.
Comes to your mind for an entertaining radio show is Asmir Begovic.
Tell me you wouldn't tune into that show just out of morbid curiosity.
Oh, I don't think I would, mate.
Oh.
I was surprised. Asmir Begovic has a current podcast in Bosnia.
Oh, I know what BBC are going to be all over this. They've already got a podcast together, haven't they? On the BBC. Callum Wilson, Michael Antonio.
Beautiful. Great start, Jim.
Thank you.
I'm going to just name a couple. Oh, no, he's not Premier League anymore. He got relegated.
Who'd you have? Who was that going to be?
It was going to be James Maddison. Oh, no, he went to Spurs, didn't he?
EA counts. You can have him.
I was going to go James Maddison and Declan Rice.
Again,
all good shouts.
I'm
taking Aaron Ramsdale next.
I feel like Declan Rice could pretty much run most sort of media things. I feel like he'd be like in about 5 years' time, if he ever wanted to step away from football, he'd be like a Saturday night presenter.
See, I disagree. I think he's overrated myself.
What, as a bloke?
Yeah, I think some things I'm a little bit like, oh.
Well,
yeah.
My third pick is going to be he had a wonderful appearance on Sky Sports one Friday night or Monday night, I can't remember.
Yeah.
But it was old Ben Mee.
Okay.
Good shout, actually. He'd be all right.
He held himself well in conversation.
Yeah, I think he'd be all right.
What sort of
very
role
user-friendly.
What sort of role would he fill on the station? What sort of role would he fill?
He'd be the main man, I reckon, just because he's confident on camera. Yeah.
I think he would command respect from the other two as well, as like a senior player.
Yeah.
Because who takes lead on the Mikel Antonio? It's the players podcast, isn't it?
Yeah, mate. Wait, I'm still getting there. You've got to get my full 5 in.
Who takes the lead on that then? Out of the two of them, who takes the lead? Or the players podcast?
Oh, well, and it is as it is at the moment. I think that they must have a producer. I guess I don't know. I only ever see clips from it.
Not literally who runs. I mean, who takes the lead presenting it?
I don't know. I've only ever seen clips of it.
Oh right, fair enough.
But my next pick, the women are going to love him. You know, the clips on the iPlayer are going to be popping off. Jackie Grealish, stick him on.
It's another good shout. Other than Begovic, no one's had a stinky yet.
I'm removing Begovic, by the way. Begovic is sliced from my. Although he would be one to lead it, I reckon. I think he could command respect from the other players.
What?
Would you mess with Asmir Begovic? If Asmir Begovic tells you what to do, are you arguing with him? No, you're not.
Asmir Begovic told me, by the way, Fraser on weather. I'd probably go, no. And he'd go, okay.
Anyway.
If he spent the last how many years being bitched out of Pickford. Like, seriously, Jim. Why is Asmir Begovic suddenly like the rock of the Premier League?
He's been in it a long time.
Is he going to appear in all of these ones for you? Just who do you pick for a lifeline? Asmir Begovic, he'd fight a shark. Like, what are you on about, Jim?
He scored against Saints. He's done it all. Anything worth doing in the Premier League, Asmir Begovic has done it.
Is your reasoning for Asmir Begovic being hard as fuck as he scored a goal from his own box against Saints?
No, he plays for the same national team as Edin Dzeko.
Oh, yeah, therefore rock hard then, isn't he?
He's got to be. He has to be.
Didn't even mention Klasnach, just Dzeko.
Yeah, don't need any of that, mate. Any of that.
All right, Fez, go on, save us, mate. Who's your fourth?
My fourth, he seems like quite a smart person. and I reckon he's got a few languages in his locker, so he could be my foreign correspondent.
Sorry, your Radio 1 foreign correspondent.
Because they're always in the hard-hitting news on Radio 1.
That's it. And you just heard Taylor Swift, and now we're going to cut up to Ukraine. Go on, son, what you got?
I'm going with Alexander Zinchenko.
Zinchenko? That is a stinker.
But he seems so boring.
That is dreadful.
Also, I think he's got quite a bit on his mind going about light entertainment.
Yeah, when it cuts to the Ukraine story with our man on the ground. Cuts to him with an AK-47.
At the end of the day, it's not the end of the world. It's not the worst prediction I've ever made in this life. So
It's not the worst possible choice.
Right, I think you're going to not like mine at my final pick. And this is the man who is commanding the whole thing. He's got a good mix of experience, but I reckon he'll gel with the other lads. James Milner.
That is, you know what? I was going to wait to the end to do my stuff. I had the exact same Milner in the same role as you did, as the sort of glue, the straight man throughout all of it.
Yeah, exactly. You need one because I think the other boys are going to be like off on one. And Milner's going to be just a regular bloke that's going to put it all together.
And then get back together, lads. Stop dicking about, and we're gonna play some killers now. That
is what you want. And I reckon he probably has the best taste in music as well.
Also, he's got a bit of banter about him, hasn't he?
He has a bit, like because there was all that boring James Milner thing, but he's bought right into it. He loves it now.
He does, doesn't he?
Yeah,
I reckon he'd do right. Fez, what about you, mate? Last pick.
Last pick. I heard he's the DJ at Liverpool from time to time. I'm going with Virgil van Dijk.
Oh, this radio show is dreadful.
So you've currently got.
I reckon Virgil's got a few moves in his locker.
So you've currently got two quite serious people running. Unless they're doing news and weather, they could be doing news and weather actually.
You said they were doing news and weather.
Oh, I did. Yeah, I did. I sort of stopped myself as I was saying it. Like, yeah, they're serious, aren't they? But then if they're doing news and weather, but then would you want Virgil van Dijk in a very deep voice telling you it's going to rain tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although his voice is deep, I think it's quite a soothing voice.
Actually, you know what? I'll take the piss, but it's actually not a terrible idea.
No, look at his five. Can I just read out his five to you in one go, please? I don't know if you've been writing this down, but James Maddison, Declan Rice, Ben Mee, Zinchenko, and Virgil van Dijk. Those men have nothing in common. Where's the Maddison and Rice might have a bit of banter. Ben Mee might just chat about Brexit tackles with Virg, and that is all I'm seeing.
Ben Mee is leader character. Virgil's on the decks. Zinchenko's doing your other bollocks. So don't come at me.
Your other bollocks. He's the utility man on the pitch and on the radio.
Mate, trust me. When our show takes off, which it will, you'll be coming to me saying, "Sorry, Fez, you're right. I'm wrong."
There is no way that my lineup is not better. My lineup is top notch.
Well, it's down to Fraser to vote.
Just read your lineup again for everyone.
Callum Wilson, Michael Antonio, Aaron Ramsdale, Jack Grealish, James Milner.
Here's the thing, though, Jim.
What?
Great lineup. If you were to do like 5 people to have a drink with, you spot on, mate. But who's the glue? Who's the glue together with that?
James Milner.
A good point. Yeah, I forgot you said James Milner. So Milner's the glue. You got presumably Ramsdale's reading the news.
Just throw me some roles and I'll tell you who's doing it. Whether Jack Grealish.
Sorry, what? You're wasting Grealish there.
What? Sorry.
I think Jack Grealish. I think Weather's the easiest job.
Yeah, but sorry. Oh, it's going to be raining up there.
I think that's brilliant. And he won't know what's going on. That will be clipped. That would go viral. You're telling me Jack Grealish doing the weather would not go viral? It would go fucking viral.
Have you seen the video of him trying to point out where he was born? Where's video? I don't know where I'm from.
My favourite one is when it said Dean Smith said he's an encyclopedia of football. What's that?
Exactly. This man's a donut. He can't do the weather.
Well, what else is it? Okay. I'll have Ramsdale doing the weather.
I reckon he'd just be either confused or bored throughout all of it.
Who, Grealish?
Still doing the weather.
I mean, Grealish is literally here. So if Milner's my straight man, Grealish is my victim. Like the other boys are just ripping into him constantly, and that's where the banter's coming from.
Right.
But you've got to have a victim who people don't feel too sorry for. But because he's got more footballing ability in his left bollock than the rest of them have got put together, they still respect him on some level.
Okay, I do like that. So if you're presumably your main two guys are going to be Mikel Antonio and Callum Wilson.
Yeah, but I actually don't like them as people.
What would you pick for a radio show then?
Because they just, they're good together, and they do bounce off each other. I've seen them, and I think I can imagine Callum Wilson will get on well with Ramsdale.
Okay, Fez, you got a little 20-second burst to Jimmy's across. You got about 20 seconds to put your point across of why yours is better.
Well, I mean, it explains itself. He's got the glue as the most boringest man in football as James Milner, who used scissors to
I'm
cut.
sorry, there is no way Zinchenko is more exciting than James Milner. Not a chance.
Can James Milner bring you live updates from Ukraine? No, he can't.
I think he could if you stuck him there.
Anyway, I think Verge, although it's raining tomorrow, you feel quite happy and safe about him doing it.
Happy and safe. It's like that Frankie Ball joke, isn't it? Wayne Rooney may be ugly, but when he's in my arms, I feel safe.
Mate, I would rather listen to the Dele Alli interview with Gary Neville on loop than listen to Virgil van Dijk telling me it's going to rain tomorrow. I can't think of anything worse.
Right. So it's tough. It's a tough one actually because Fez has thought about the roles. Fez has thought about the roles of what to do.
I thought about the chemistry. Mine's all about the chemistry.
If you're going to take his three main guys alone, and they'll doing everything. If the three guys are doing everything, and occasionally here's Zinchenko and Van Dijk come every half hour, just go.
No, but my last three, my big three is Ramsdale, Grealish, Milner. To be honest with you,
what?
I've just got Wilson.
That's your big three. You're losing this quickly.
Wilson and Antonio are just there to keep it, like that. I feel like they've got a more youthful demographic of viewer they'll bring in. Ramsdale as well, and Grealish in that as well, actually. Yeah, Milner. I'm chatting I'm just waffling, trying to dig myself out of a hole, but I think I'm making it worse.
Interesting. None of you went Mason Mount.
No, I hate bloke.
Fair enough.
Yeah, he's born in Portsmouth. I think he's
no skates on my radio show.
This is tough, actually.
The man that shushed the family stand, he needs to get a grip of himself.
It's a tough. You know what? It's a tough one.
I
can't believe how little you're utilising Antonio and Wilson. Afterthought view, they should be leading the thing.
Well, if that's what you want, Fraser, then
my show, mate. But I also can't get behind.
No, my show would develop as weeks go on. I think they're interchangeable as guys. I'm going to be playing a fluid sort of
it's only one
radio show.
It's only a one show deal.
What?
That wasn't specified. A one show deal. The thing is, Fez, your first three are pretty good, but
even Ben Mee, I think, falls off a cliff a little bit. Like, I understand your justification.
Yeah,
I'm even a little bit suspect of that.
But the kink in the armour, so to speak, Zinchenko did news reports to 20-somethings in London from the battlefield to Ukraine. I just think that if we were doing that at Radio 4, that'd be really, really interesting. But I just think it's slightly too dark for radio, and likewise the novelty of a giant Dutchman reading the weather wear off pretty thin.
It contrasts each other too much. I think you've got I feel like Maddison and Rice aren't going to be taking things seriously, and then you've got the hard-hitting Zinchenko watching his homeland get invaded by Putin's forces. I just pick one or the other.
Right, I've made my decision.
Yeah,
Bez, very good. Both these are better than what I expected, but purely due to Milner over Ben Mee, and that is literally it. I'm taking Jimmy in this one.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Never in doubt, never in doubt.
Just for context, so my list, I had Mount and Rice leading it, 1 and 2, co-hosts.
Stinker.
James Madison doing the weather and the news.
Why you liked feathers, because fucking same as yours.
had James Milner doing all sorts. So just sort of like keep everything together, be like producing the background sort of thing. They go, "What's next, James?" Need to say so and keep on track. It'd be like the Carl Pilkington of the show.
See, Jack Grealish is my Cole Pilkington.
And then I've got Andy Robertson in there as well, who both forgot. So I think it's criminal. He's just going to chime in every so often with whatever autistic thing comes into his mind.
No, the reason I can't have Mount in my team is the same reason I can't have that Robbo in my team.
Just too entertaining, yeah.
No, just Celtic.
That's the reason you have not put Andy Robertson. He's probably the most entertaining player in the Prem in terms of bloke. Is because he's ex-Celtic.
He's not ex-Celtic. I think he's just a boyhood fan.
I think he's a Rangers fan.
I don't know. He was linked with. I'm sure I saw an interview where he said he wanted to retire at Celtic.
I'm pretty sure he's Rangers, mate. Would he not have the Champions League? Oh, I could be wrong, actually.
Let's have a look.
I'm giving it a search, actually, yeah.
Boyhood fan of the Hoops and spent time in their academy as a youngster.
I just read an article. The importance of silencing Rangers fans. Love that.
What do you mean silencing them?
Last year in the Champions League.
Why was that important? Who thinks about us that much? We just live rent free in everyone's head. We're just massive.
Not mine.
Oh, second biggest fans in Scotland, aren't you?
Wow.
Anyway, that was Fancy Fives. So now we're going to do our way too early Premier League predictions.
Right, who's going first?
That's a good
I'm
point.
going to write yours down next to mine as you say them so I can compare who I've got.
So I've got Jim. Don't worry, I've got my old spreadsheet ready.
You brought a
Of course
spreadsheet
you have.
out? Wow,
I've
this
got
is
a spreadsheet for everything.
professional. So
Bianca.
we're actually going to keep
Right,
track
do you
of
want to hear?
these.
Do you want to hear my 20 to 1?
You're 20 to 1. What
Oh,
about
you're
we
going
do?
back
We
to
go
21.
from bottom to top. We do
Yeah.
a bottom three first. So it's just sort of layer it a bit
So all
rather
three of
than.
us do our bottom three. Okay, all right. Right, I'll give you my bottom three.
Yeah,
Right,
from
dead
20th
last.
to 19th, 18th. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, bottom
dead
three
last.
first.
Yeah, that is what bottom three is. Right, bottom of the league, have an absolute sting. I think they're going to do this very similar to Saints last season. Wolves, dead last.
Oh, big
Wow.
cool. Big cool that.
Yeah, they're going to have a stinker. Watch this space. I just don't see what they've got. And then I've got another controversial one that I don't think either of you are going to like, but they've had their time. They've got a stinker of a stadium, and it's not the team that you're thinking of. It's Brentford.
Wow.
Wow.
That's
Yeah,
that's
that's my bottom three.
almost an oppressively bad take, I reckon. Brentford, really?
Moneyball's got to fall down at some point. Moneyball's got to fail at some point, and Tony's out till Christmas and beyond. So, yeah.
Wow.
That's huge,
Yeah,
mate. That's
that
a
is my-
massive
that is-
goal.
That is my only stinker. To be fair, Everton, Bournemouth could sneak in,
Sorry,
but
what?
I hope with all my heart Brentford go down because
Sorry.
they are a League One club at best.
Sorry, you're admitting it now. It's a stinker.
Wow.
Jim,
Sorry?
you're admitting
No,
it
I
now.
tell
It's a
you what, I think
stinker.
it's actually got potential.
I don't think it's a stinker. No, I
You
think
said
they
it
are.
was
I think they are. A
You said that's my
stinker
only
of the
stinker.
club. Oh, I meant like controversial pick. That's my only one that could be perceived as a stinker.
Oh, right. Yeah, I'd go with that. As I think ballsy calls, though, to have them in the bottom two.
Bottom three.
I missed the third one, sorry. Who was that?
Wolves are dead
You know
last.
what?
Wolves are
I
last.
don't-
Luton
I
next.
don't think you're a million miles away with that.
They're definitely not going to have a good season.
No.
Like at some point, just
Right.
buying random Scandinavian blokes has got to fall down. And haven't they just signed Nathan Collins for like 30 million? That is terrible business. That's atrocious business.
Oh, I do
Yeah.
agree. It's not the best signing, is it?
I don't understand it at all for that. I mean, he's not a bad centre back, but for that money, I don't.
I don't know.
Hasn't every team he's played for got relegated or had like a shocking season? Burnley went down. Where was he last season? Wolves didn't play very well last season. Like he's never had. I don't know. Yeah, strange
I
business.
don't know. I think he's got potential. He's a good young Irish player. You can't be fantastic when you've
He's
got
not
a load of
30
crap around
million.
you.
And I don't understand.
I appreciate it.
It's the fact Brentford don't usually spend big money, and that's the bloke they've chosen to fork out for. Just surprised me as
Especially
well.
when they need a striker.
Yeah, right. The whole thing. I just hope they go down. Them and Bournemouth, if they go down.
You
Them,
hope they
Bournemouth
go
and
down.
Everton, I hope go down. Yeah.
Hope they go down.
One of these football pure. I hate small teams. No, I love small teams in the Prem for a year or two.
You
And I
know,
hate when they start expecting bigger things. When clubs like Bournemouth and Brentford start looking at Europe, get in the bin. Just go back to League One. I hate it. I actually despise it. I'm really passionate about it. But
Oh
everyone
my
in my
God.
course takes a piss out of me because I really hate small teams in the Prem.
but Brentford
sure
and
they hate
Brighton,
you, Jack.
get in the bin. Penenkin
Brentford, but
Podcast
Bournemouth as
said,
well.
Brighton Football
Bournemouth.
Club, Brighton and Hove Albion Football Club, get in the bin.
Brighton, Brighton I don't hate so much, but Bournemouth and Brentford, big time. Fuck off.
All right, Fez, can you bring any sanity to this?
Not really. I will be honest.
I was going to say, I think Brentford's more of an emotional pick for me, but anyway.
Because one of my bottom three teams is on the back of some news that I read this morning about Alexander Mitrovic.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't hate it. I said this last season. I don't see where the quality is in Fulham's squad. I don't get it. We did a 1-11 because people were saying Fulham have a stronger squad than Saints last season, and I still think Saints had a stronger squad.
So from 20th to 18th, I've got Luton Town, bottom. Then I've got a Fulham, and then I've got Wolves.
Ooh.
Yeah. I'm
not
happy with
confident in Fulham. I don't think Fulham particularly have a great squad. Obviously, I saw that Mitrovic has said to Fulham he's not playing for them again. I know Marco Silva wants to leave as well to go to
he's
Saudi
going to Saudi
Arabia.
Arabia. Isn't some bloke off to West Ham as well?
Yeah, that the centre mid, the young
Paulinho.
player. He was really good last season. That's the one.
And Manor Solomon's gone off to Tottenham as well.
Yeah,
And he looked
Sullivan.
seriously good last year.
Yeah.
Obviously, I know they've just signed Willian again, but he was only mediocre last season.
Have they? I thought William went somewhere else.
No, he signed for Fulham.
Okay.
I can hear you typing away on your computer there.
He has
rejoined. He has rejoined.
Oh,
I had to confirm. Yeah, I don't hate your picks, to be honest. I think they're okay. Yeah.
Fraser, what are your bottom three?
My bottom three. I thought I was going quite pragmatic with this, but I've listened to you boys that do it, and maybe I've gone to maybe I've not gone safe enough. So in 20th place, I have Sheffield United.
I think they're going to have an all right season.
In 19th, Luton Town. And 18th,
Okay. Yep.
I've gone second season syndrome, Nottingham Forest.
I don't hate any of that. I would be surprised if Sheffield United came rock bottom, though. That would surprise me. But I wouldn't be shocked if they got relegated. And I actually think Forest, I think they're just going to stay the same. I mean, I can't see them going backwards, and I can't see them going forwards.
So, would it be fair to say that this is the most open relegation battle we've seen in the Premier League in a number of years?
Yeah, I think there's like 11, 12 teams that could go down, and I wouldn't be shocked at all.
I thought last season was tight, but I think anyone from, in my Prem prediction anyway, anyone from table 10th possibly down, because I think there's at least 9 clubs who are definitely certified to stay up this season.
Yeah, there's
obviously
8
that
I
guaranteed.
Cannot go down. Yeah.
See, I've got
clubs there.
I've got the number at 12 teams that can't go down. But I think
any of my bottom 10 could go down. Any of them.
So we'll get onto that in a minute. But I'm looking at teams in my bottom 10. I can't see 2 or 3 of them going down, but I can see. Yeah, I can see it being similar to last year, but going a bit further on because there's so many teams that are similar, and we've got an unknown quantity in Burnley, which I think we're all going to discuss later, which could finish anywhere, literally anywhere in the league. Other
mean,
than top 7.
Anywhere up to about 8th, I think.
Yeah, I'd go with that because they're simply
anyway.
an unknown quality.
Me and Jimmy say there's 8 guaranteed spots. So Fraser, you say there's 10. Place your top 8.
My top 8.
Your top 8.
My top. I'll give you my top 7 as that's what we agreed earlier. As a so, I don't think it's any
bottom to top.
Bottom to top, right? Okay.
Yeah. So 7th to 1st.
You picked that up. When I said I don't think there's any, you immediately assumed. Yeah, I think we've all got the same first then.
Yeah, exactly.
So in 8th place, Aston Villa. I've got 7th place, Brighton. In 6th, I've got Newcastle. Slightly worried about their squad depth in their first season in Europe. 5th, I have Manchester United. 4th, Tottenham Hotspur. 3rd, I've got the Gunners. And 2nd, Liverpool. And of course, I think we've all got this, City at number 1.
So Chelsea aren't coming top 8 for you?
As I've got this now, and it's nothing to do with the fact I forgot Chelsea were in the Prem until doing this list and got to 9. Chelsea I'm backing it. I'm backing it. Chelsea don't make my top 7, but I fully appreciate that Brighton and Villa will be stretched by Europe. But to what extent I don't know yet. I think Brighton can cope with it because they've got so much depth. Because they are moneyballing the crap out of football at the moment. They've got so much young players on the bench. There's going to be some gun in that Brighton squad that we won't find out about till next year. And we'll be like, how do we not know that about him?
It'll be Alfredo Morelos when he signs next week.
Alfredo Morelos? Really? Are you sure he's not going Shamrock Rovers or whatever that rumour was?
Mate, he's still got no club. That bloke is homeless.
So Jimmy, you're 8 to 1.
You're my 8 to 1. Right. 8th, Brighton. 7th, Spurs. But I've already said I think Ange could have a good season, so that one could move. 6th, Newcastle. 5th, Chelsea. 4th, United. 3rd, I'm looking at it now, I'm not sure. My 2nd and 3rd, you can alternate however you want, but I've written it down as Liverpool, 2nd Arsenal, and then obviously 1st City.
So the same top 3 we have, the big differential there being Spurs.
Yeah, we've got Spurs way different. And then the one that I've got Chelsea in and you haven't as well. That's a big differential.
So just quickly on Spurs, how much of a difference do you think Ange Postecoglou is going to make? Because Jim, you watch a lot of Scottish football. Do you think his brand of football will translate south of the border?
I see no reason why not. I also think the way that he's come into Spurs is exactly the same as he came into Celtic. They missed out on their number 1 target. Celtic missed out on Eddie Howe. It was exactly the same thing. And everyone said when he went to Celtic, who the fuck is this guy? Laughed at them. And everyone did the same, and everyone's done the same at Tottenham. The only thing I will say is Celtic in his first season did have a slow start. He won the league in his first season, obviously, but I think up until Christmas, he'd actually had a worse season than Lennon had and got sacked the season before.
Really?
So he does need to be given time. But yeah, I think he will be a success at Tottenham.
Do you reckon his shortcomings in Europe are anything to be worried about for Spurs fans?
They're not even in Europe, are they?
Very good point. And I forgot about that. Oh, I completely forgot about that.
Welcome to the Panenka podcast where we know fuck all about football.
Panenka podcast where we say, do your research. Fez, fucking rescue us.
No, I don't think that was a bad take because long-term Spurs will want to be in Europe and they will want to have a degree of success. So I take your point. But ultimately, I think Rangers have been punching above their weight in Europe. And so Celtic's lack of success is just, I think it's the standard position for Rangers and Celtic in European football.
How did you manage to weasel your way into mentioning Rangers' European performance? How would you do it? It's like it's a gift, isn't it? It's a gift.
Well, because Rangers and Celtic are always going to be compared to one another, aren't they? They're going to be the standard by which the other one's compared till the end of time. So that's the only reason you think Ange hasn't had success in Europe is because compared to Rangers, I mean Celtic have been shocking for like a decade.
Oh no,
They beat Barcelona like 10 years ago. Victor Wanyama had a masterclass, and they've done fuck all since.
Fez, you're 8-1.
Well, 8-1. I've gone Villa in 8th, Newcastle in 7th. I don't think they will stand the longevity of being in Europa League football.
Yeah, speaking of teams struggling in Europe, that is another potential that I hadn't even considered, actually. But yeah.
And then I have gone with the classic Big Six in the top 6. I've gone 6th with Chelsea. I think Pochettino is going to have a really good season there. I think 5th is going to be Tottenham Hotspur because they don't have any European football, so I think they'll be able to focus properly. I've gone Man United in 4th. I think Liverpool take 3rd. I think Arsenal and City run it very close this season, but I think Manchester City take pole position.
So the takeaway from this then is we've all got the same top 3, but we've got
Yeah.
second and third in different orders. Arsenal, two of us have got dropping down to 3rd.
I said Liverpool 3rd, but you could take or leave Arsenal and Liverpool. It was my exact words.
Okay, so in which case we've got Arsenal, we've got the same 1-2, two of us have, and I've got Liverpool finishing ahead of Arsenal.
I guess the big thing to ask you, Fraser, is do you think Liverpool are going to compete in any way with City? Because I guess that's the big question. I guess that's where we might have differing opinions.
Yeah, so I don't think it's going to be close. I think City are going to run away with the league. Could Arsenal Liverpool be close? I think it will be close, but I just think it's going to be a big adjustment playing with Kai Havertz, who's almost like a pseudo target man, whereas Jesus is more of a link-up player. And I think they will go down the route of playing Havertz up front. I think Liverpool's transfers fit their team far better. I think McAllister's a brilliant signing. I think this new lad they got from Leipzig, who I'm not going to try and pronounce. Also, it fits the team like a glove.
But you've got to take into consideration Liverpool had more holes to fill than Arsenal did.
Yes, I think you're spot on with that. I would also say Nunez, second season in the Prem, will have his feet under him. I think he's going to have a better season.
I think he's going to have an absolute stinker.
Do you reckon?
As my Scouse friend calls him, the Uruguayan Andy Carroll. He is a shocking footballer.
But I think we've seen this a lot recently with big money signings coming to the Premier League and it's taken a while to adjust to new teams.
But he just doesn't fit. He doesn't fit the system that Klopp has played his entire career.
I think he can do. I think he has the potential to, but didn't show it last year.
You think he can drop into a 10 and let the wingers come inside? Because I don't think he can.
I think he can play as more of a target man. He won't drop in as a 10 as we've seen with Firmino, but I think he can do more link-up play, or can be the pivot between presumably Salah and I'd imagine Luis Diaz.
No, I can see that. Yeah, he links up play, but in a different way.
Yeah, it wouldn't be as fluent as Firmino has done it, or wouldn't be as fluent as Origi has done it, or even when Jota is asked to do it. But he'll do it in a he can also what he's better at than those other two options is he's a finisher.
Fair enough. And then I think the only other thing we've got differences in. I mean, Fez, where have you got Brighton in yours overall?
9th.
Okay, so just outside. So we've all got Villa and Brighton there and thereabouts. I guess the only other thing I would just want to say after we've all put Arsenal in our top 3, they're a team that's going to have to adjust to European football, and I think their fans are going to have some expectations on their return to Champions League. So it could put some pressure on the squad.
I think it will do. I think maybe that's coming to my sort of psyche a bit when I've made this sort of third place prediction.
And they've got players that haven't played Champions League at all before. And Declan Rice never played Champions League. Saka may have done, but
Saka has, yes. Oh no, Saka has not. Saka's only ever played Europa.
Yeah, Declan Rice has won a European competition.
Yeah, but Champions League is completely different.
It's all well and good doing it on a cold Tuesday night in Denmark, cold Thursday night in Denmark, but he might be at the Bernabeu next year.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's a different thing. It's a different beast altogether. But I take your point. He's got experience of knockout competitions, but all those players do.
Plus, if we look at World Cups and Euros, Declan Rice has been arguably one of the best players for England in the past 3 tournaments or 2 tournaments.
Good point. It's fair to say that he's unlikely to crumble under the pressure of Champions League football. But it is just the point that we're talking about all these other squads having to deal with European football, but they might have an adjustment period as well. But yeah, like I'd put them in second, so I don't think they will have too much, but it's worth touching on.
100%. So as well as predicting the top 8 and the bottom 3, let's talk about who we think our player of the season is going to be, and indeed our young player of the season. For reference, young player of the season, we have gone for players under 23. So Fez, would you like to start us off with your player and young player of the season?
My player, and funny enough, Jim mentioned him earlier as being the Scouse Andy Carroll. I'm actually going to back him, and I'm going to go with Darwin Nunez.
And that's all we have for this week's podcast. Join us again next week. Fez, what the fuck are you on about?
That is a stinker. That is an utter. Although Fraser, you said he was going to have a good season, but like, how many goals do you think he's scoring next year?
There's a difference between having a good season and player of the season.
How many goals do you think he's going to score?
Enough.
And how many goals do you think Haaland's going to score? So I'm going to say Haaland's going to score more than enough. Because Nunez's direct competition in terms of player of the year is going to be Haaland.
Yeah. Same as it was last year.
Yeah, like he'll always be compared to him. So I just can't see him having a better season than him.
Don't get me
no
wrong.
matter how good enough.
I think he'll do better this year. And I think he will score 20 goals. But he won't score 30. It will come down to that. He'll be good, but I can't see him being good enough.
Well, that's why it's an opinion. You know, you've got yours, I've got mine.
Yes, every time you have a shocking opinion. Like when with my Brentford one, I backed it up with like things to say. Yours is just, well, it's my opinion. Like take it or leave it. You have to actually give reasons for your thoughts.
Because if you look at his play right now, obviously, I believe they've changed the offside rule, haven't they? Again, that it's only.
I saw that. But I'm not sure.
Side.
I wasn't quite sure how they changed it, but
But
you're basically banking on him being onside on more occasions.
Yeah, and I reckon he scores a lot more goals because he is. I think naturally he's got good ability.
Yeah,
as long as he's not last season, to score goals.
But you look at last season, right, and he wasn't horrendous. However, he did average in a shite Liverpool squad last season.
But was it shite? He was shite. If you stick Haaland in that Liverpool squad, they don't have a bad season last season.
You say that though, but injuries affected them massively.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I'm just saying, but my point is that for Nunez to win player of the season, not only does he have to have a really good season, Haaland would have to drop off considerably because they're always going to be compared like for like when one's up for winning player of the year. It's like Harry Kane. Harry Kane can never win player of the year with a 20-goal season if Haaland's scoring 30 goals. Because like, how can he be player of the year? Unless he's also putting up like 20 assists as well, which for Kane probably could, but I can't see Nunez doing that.
Well, he scored 9 goals last season. I know it's not the 36 of Haaland, but I don't know. It's going to be a tight.
It's a third. It's a third of what for every goal for every
Jim, it's
goal
worse.
Nunez
It's a quarter. It's a quarter, Jim.
Fucking hell, it is, isn't it? Yeah. This is the worst take.
I agree with you. Fez, I agree with you 100%. He's going to have a better season. The offside rule is going to benefit him, and Liverpool will be a better team. He's not going to bridge the gap to Haaland, though.
Okay, then. Right, well, will you tell me your player of the season, then? Because I know you're both going to be boring and pick...
Mate, can I just get mine out of the way? Because mine's really boring. Both of them are really boring.
Oh, sorry, Fez. Your young player of the season as well.
Oh, Brighton's Ivan Ferguson.
Yeah, I'll take that.
That's quite good, actually. So do you see
That's
him...
niche enough. That's niche enough. But, I mean, it's more likely that it'll go to a player in a top 6 side. But, yeah, I take it.
So do you think he's going to lead the line for Brighton all year, then?
I think he'll have more game time this season than he did last.
So
I think he's sort of proven himself a little bit more.
how
Got a
how
bit
do you
of
see
game under his belt,
how do you see
and
the
especially
signing
with
of João
squad
Pedro affecting
rotation with them
things?
being in Europe. I think they'll complement each other.
So you think that Brighton are going to play a two up top and they're not going to play with Danny Welbeck?
Fez,
No,
how many teams are changing their entire play style next season?
I think Evan Ferguson's a good shout. I do really think it's a good shout. As a ones watch, I think he will make an impact. Do you reckon it's too early though? He's still only
no,
19, isn't he?
yeah, but I just think the squad rotation at Brighton, having now playing in Europa League, I think they're going to have to rotate that squad more often.
Wouldn't that be a negative?
No, because I think he'll play more Premier League, and because I think they'll focus on Europa League.
That's fair point. Fair point.
If they're focusing on Europa League, he's going to be playing more games in the Premier League. I'll take that, but he's going to be playing in a weakened side.
I like it as a pick. It depends. I like it as a pick. I think it's maybe slightly out there, but actually it's not beyond the realms of possibility. And I think he will definitely be
Darwin Nunez.
One with a good season. Yeah, unlike Nunez one, which the less said about the better. But then again, maybe we look back on this in 52 weeks time or 30 weeks time. Me and Jim look like idiots. So
I cannot see that happening. I will drink a pint of mouthwash if that happens. If Nunez wins Player of the Season next season, I will drink a pint of mouthwash.
And we have that on record. So Jimmy Bowie, your Player of the Season and your Young Player of the Season.
Right, this is really unbelievably boring. Player of the Season, De Bruyne. Young Player of the Season, Haaland. Bosh.
Yeah.
Get some personality, mate.
Get a personality.
Yeah.
No, I'm just going to be right.
So De Bruyne.
You're silent because you've got nothing to say because you know that is more than likely what's going to happen.
I don't think. I don't think Kevin De Bruyne is actually going to do that well this season.
Oh, shut up! Stop talking.
Is your argument for this just shut up?
I don't think he does. Because he sort of dipped towards the end of last season. I think obviously Champions League he had a big injury. He's now reaching 31, 32.
No, actually, I'm now. The more you're saying, the more I'm taking your point. I still think he'll have a good season.
He'll have a good season, but will he win Player of the Season?
I don't think he won't be like horrendously. He's not going to be shit.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's one of the top performers in the Prem next season.
Oh no, I'm not saying that, but I don't think he'll be good enough at the age of 32 to keep playing the way how Guardiola wants him to play.
I think he'll have more goal involvements at the end of next season than Darwin Nunez.
What I would say to De Bruyne as your Player of the Season pick is, will others in the team overshadow him?
Nope.
So we're going to my Player of the Season and Young Player of the Season. Also, on the point of touchy point on bit nitpicky with Haaland, we asked for your under 23s. He will be 23.
He is born. What's his birthday?
July 21st, 2000.
Oh, he turns 23 tomorrow.
I know.
I just looked at his age.
Technically though, the season started because it starts on the 1st of July.
Exactly.
Would he qualify to play in an under 23 World Cup right now?
He would do. Yeah,
he would
do. He beats the cut-off by 20 days, I believe, to play in the under 23 World Cup. So he does count.
So I say he can win Young Player of the Year next season.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So
FA can say whatever they want. I back him.
That's absolutely fair enough. So I suppose it's down to me to do my Player of the Season and indeed Young Player of the Season. Player of the Season, I don't think it come as a surprise to many people. Erling Haaland. A Young Player of the Season. He's been slated earlier, described as a flop, but he's Arsenal's best player in my opinion. It's got to be Bukayo Saka.
Yeah, I back that. I back it 100%. I don't know what Fez was chatting about. I think I I I can't believe Fez is. I'm speechless. I am fucking speechless.
I've said it for a long time that Saka isn't actually as good as people make out.
What game of football are you? He's been one of England's best players since the fucking Euros.
Okay, who have he played since the Euros that he's actually done something look good?
City,
Sorry?
United, Chelsea, Tottenham.
No. I'm talking. What did he do in the World Cup?
He beat Iran.
Great.
Well, okay, but he plays. The World Cup is such a small sample size for the amount of games Bukayo Saka plays. He just is such a forward. He's like Edozie on steroids. And I
No,
love
we
Edozie.
cannot stop compare. We cannot use this podcast as a platform to compare world-class players to bang-average Southampton players.
Do not speak about Samuel Edozie like that. He was criminally underrated next season,
Jim,
and he's going to be a breakout star in the Championship.
What's next? Is Bukayo Saka just a slightly younger Ryan Kent? Is he?
No, Ryan Kent fell off. He's moved to Turkey at the age of like 24. What a flop!
I did see that, yeah. So, so you've had your rebuttal on Saka, Fez, Haaland. I think we've talked about Haaland already on the pod. What are the reasons behind none of you putting him in as your player, retaining his title as Player of the Season?
I just think he's going to get young for the season.
No, I think realistically he probably will win it.
Well, I thought you got Nunez was going to outscore him.
Realistically, he'll win it.
I didn't say he'll outscore him. I just said he'll win it because he'll be.
Oh, because everyone else will be wrong, but Nunez will have a better season.
Just to be absolutely crystal clear, Haaland is your banker for fantasy football, but Darwin Nunez will win Player of the Season.
Yeah, because I reckon he'll surprise people. You two included.
No, I think you're getting confused between Player of the Season and Most Improved.
But
if you're saying Nunez is Most Improved, I'd back it.
If Player of the Season was done on surprises, then Dynamo win every year.
That was a shocking line. That
was horrendous. You deserve to be in the bin for that. It's outrageous from you.
I was thinking of Dynamo. I was trying to think of some like 30-year-old Brazilian central midfielder.
I was going for Magician, mate. I
know. I was like scouring my brain. I was thinking, who's he playing for? Villa?
Who's my player of the season? I'll pick Gully fucking Prado then.
Doesn't count, mate. He's retired. Sorry. Dynamo, not a great reference. Who else do you name as Magician?
No, it is good. I would have said Houdini myself. He was more of an escape, whatever the word is. But
that's a good point, actually. Could have gone Houdini, but never had a Premier League minute.
Who's before the Premier League era?
He was, mate. Pre-1992. He doesn't count.
Football didn't start in 1992, mate. Right, should we move on to the next segment?
Yeah, I think we've comprehensively covered. I'm going to say it now. Predicted the Premier League for the end of the season. We will come back to these mid-season.
Me drinking a pint of mouthwash.
Yeah, to Jimmy Bowie downing a pint of mouthwash when Darwin Nunez lifts Player of the Season.
What are the health ramifications of drinking a pint of mouthwash?
Probably not advised, mate.
Oh, and the worst thing is, Jim, it's inevitability because he's going to win it. But don't you dare play in your fantasy team.
Yeah, right. Are you going to put Nunez in your fantasy team, Fez?
You have to now. You have to.
Have to.
And he stays in my team. That's it.
Oh, it'll be 5 in a row for me now, won't it?
Right, so...
That's all for this week, guys. Thanks. Come back.
Do you
someone else want to do one?
I'll do one. Fraser, you do one first.
I think that's all we've got time for this week. I won't bother tuning next week, but we'll be back.
I think I'll be. If we release this on the internet, I think I get cancelled for at least one of my comments.
I think we can very much put this down as a trial.
Okay.
Right, I'm going to do mine. Thanks for listening. Come back next week because we'll be here. You probably won't be. All the best.